Good afternoon. Welcome to our third public hearing for the 2018-2019 Board of Education budget. The Board of Education and our administration, led by Dr. Joseph, have been working hard this year to ensure that our budget reflects our priorities, and we greatly appreciate all of the hard work that has gone into this budget season as we've developed a budget and received input from community members. We have scheduled 5 public hearings this school year to give community members ample opportunities to share their thoughts on our budget. This is an opportunity for you to share your feelings about Dr. Joseph's current budget proposal that has been submitted to us as a Board of Education for final approval. We will have another public hearing tomorrow, April 10th at 6 p.m. immediately following our Board of Education meeting. Our last Budget Committee meeting will be held on April 12th at 4:00 p.m., and we will have our final public hearing on the budget that same night at 5:00 p.m. We greatly appreciate all of the input and questions we've received during this process. Dr. Joseph's team has fielded over 15 questions from board members and the public, and I appreciate their diligence in answering questions in a timely fashion. This has been an unprecedented amount of feedback and community engagement, and we truly appreciate you as engaged stakeholders. Our budget should reflect our values as they have been expressed in our strategic plan, and we know that community engagement is critical to our school system's overall success. We're also providing you with a one-page document that summarizes our 7 strategic priorities within our strategic plan. Before I open the floor for public comment, I want to share a few highlights of this current budget proposal. You should have received a fiscal year 2018-2019 operating budget overview when you arrived. If not, please raise your hand and we can get one to you. The current budget request is for $924,004,600. This is a proposed 5.1% increase over last year's budget. The budget proposes an additional $5.2 million for special education students and a $2 million increase for English language learners. In addition, significant increase are proposed for social-emotional learning supports to support the training of approximately 3,000 teachers and wraparound services for a number of additional schools. 54.4% of dollars in the proposed budget will go directly to schools. $24.6 million has been recommended to increase employee compensation, including additional support for paraprofessionals. The budget also prioritizes equity by providing more Title I dollars to our neediest schools while still supporting schools who have poverty of at least 50%. If you've not had an opportunity to view Dr. Joseph's State of Schools address, I strongly encourage you to view it by visiting the MNPS website. There is a link on the top of the page that will allow you to view it and read his comments. Dr. Joseph, you and your team have done an excellent job using this as a forum to communicate your budget priorities for this school year. We know this will be a difficult budget season, but I am very encouraged that we are prioritizing our people, our students during this difficult budget time. Once we approve our final budget, it will be essential that we come together as a school board, a school community, and as a city to advocate with one voice to Mayor Brawley and the Metro Council. We look forward to collaborating with the community to ensure that our students and staff receive the resources and supports they will need to continue to exceed great expectations. Okay, you should have received a number when you arrived. If not, please raise your hand and we will get a number to you. At this time, I will call on numbers 1 through 10 to line up at the podium to begin the public speaking portion of this committee meeting. Again, your presence here does not go unnoticed, and we appreciate your advocacy on behalf of the Metro Nashville Public Schools.
Hello, my name is Jo Cram. I'm a teacher at the Academy at Old Cockrell, and I'm also a parent. My son is a student at Ross Early Learning Center. I'd like to ask you to think about the total net effect of the budget on teachers. That goes beyond just the raises. Most teachers are parents or future parents. The current budget raises new costs for parents. Some of those fall on teachers. In many cases, those new costs will cancel out the 2% raises, so our salaries are essentially stagnant. Here's 2 examples. First of all, school lunches. Next year, about half of schools will no longer have a free lunch for every student, so teachers will pay the full price for their children in those schools. At $250 a day, that adds up to about $450 a year. And depending where a teacher falls on the salary scale, that could be about a third or over half of their 2% raise this year. If the teacher has 2 or more children in the school, the net effect is 0 or negative. Second, early learning centers. Previously, all 4-year-olds could attend the early learning centers for free. This year, the district is moving to a sliding scale fee. Most teachers with an employed spouse will have to pay the full price, $144 a week. The 2% raise would only cover about 6 to 10 weeks of preschool. The net effect is a pay cut of 7 to 11%. I know these new costs come from the expiration of grants, but if the district had the money, if the city and state would give us the money, we wouldn't have these new costs for parents. As it is, the district is making it unaffordable for teachers to feed and educate their own children. Please remember, when you raise costs for parents, you penalize teachers. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Deborah Horseman, and I am a reading recovery teacher at Whitsett Elementary. And I'm here to talk about the research-based intervention that is reading recovery and has been part of literacy instruction in the district. I work very closely with classroom teachers in grades 1 and 2. Reading recovery is a short, preventative, wide-reaching reading intervention with important ties to social-emotional learning. As a reading recovery teacher, I have 20 weeks, or about 40 hours, to accelerate reading and writing growth while working one-on-one with a struggling student. However, reading recovery is wide-reaching because I also have guided reading groups with students that are not in the lowest 20%, but are not at benchmark at their grade level. Over the course of the year, I work with 35 to 40 students, which is the equivalent of about 2 classrooms of students. Reading recovery is a social emotional intervention. If you think that a small child, age 5 and 6, doesn't know that he or she is struggling, you're mistaken. So for an example of this, at the beginning of the school year last year, I walked down the hall in August with a first grade student. I had just met her, and she looked up at me and she said, "I can't do nothing." She's 6 years old. That girl grew 8 reading levels last year, grew in confidence in reading and all the work in her classroom, and this year has continued to get an extra literacy boost as a second grader and is expected to be at grade level by the end of second grade. So I share her story with you as an example of the power of an effective intervention that truly meets the child at the child's point of need and maximizes the child's potential in reading and writing by using what the child already knows to be a successful and confident learner. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Robin Beard, and I'm actually a principal in MNPS at Alex Green Elementary. And I kind of just wanted to speak to give you a different perspective because I'm looking at things from a different perspective. When I was a classroom teacher, of course, I thought we could just get everything. And even as a principal, you want everything for your school. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for everyone. I have a child that's in this district and not at my school. And if I take it from the position of I need more for my school, that could actually be taken away from my child. So I could imagine that it's a pretty hard task to do a budget for a district this large. I came from a smaller district, and it was the same types of situations where, someone else felt that they needed it, and we had to kind of distribute it equally. And so I feel like this is an attempt to be equitable towards all schools. I'm a smaller school, and I'm impacted a lot when funding is changed and moved and turned around. But I have to say this has probably been one of the better budget years for me because I spoke to some of the people at central office and let them know what my needs were, and they actually responded to their needs while responding to other needs. So I appreciate the fact that the budget is considering everything instead of just weighing it one way or another. I think they're trying to provide equitable services for everyone. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas Chappell. I'm the proud principal of Moses McKissick Middle School. Just like my colleague just spoke about, I'm just really here to talk about the optimism that I feel about our budget at our school. We're able to do a lot of things, and we know things have been tight lately, but we've been able to be very autonomous with our budget, being very creative in putting things together for our plan. For example, we're in the first phase of the STEAM initiative, so we're able to utilize a STEM teacher and computer science teacher and put our plan together. The ELL position is a big plus for us at Moses McKissick because the last 2 years we've been using our itinerant. And so now we have a full-time ELL person because our numbers for ELL at Moses McKissick is steadily increasing. The other thing that's very important is our socio-emotional aspect at our school, which is really the driving purpose at our school. We're able to, because of the new budget, hire or maintain our restorative assistant coach, which has been a big plus. We did get impacted by losing 2 teachers, but because of the budget, we're still being able to be creative and be able to hire 2 tutors that will still keep our focus of improving instruction. So overall, we're doing a good job. We'll take whatever we have, and we're going to make it work because we're here for students first.
Good evening, school board members and Dr. Joseph. I'm Mary Hakka, school social worker in the Glencliff cluster. MNPS has been a leader in social-emotional learning since 1938, when Superintendent W.A. Bass created what is now the MNPS social work department. This was in response to our city's concern that Nashville's juvenile delinquency rate had risen 50% in the previous 10 years. Mr. Bass saw the need for emotional and practical support by trained professionals to reverse that trend. So MNPS was 80 years ahead of its time because, as you know, it's only this year that Tennessee legislators are working on a bill to require school social workers in every county. I'm proud to work for a large school system that has long recognized the connection between emotional support and academic progress. I applaud your determination, Dr. Joseph, to dramatically enhance the infrastructure of the SEL work in order to eradicate school-to-prison pipeline and to increase attendance and graduation rates. In your recent State of the School speech, you said that you were ready to fight for students to be heard. And the school social workers are standing right beside you in that fight, Dr. Joseph. We're advocating here tonight because that's what we do for our students and families daily. Your SEL proposals are vital, mid-level interventions that will only completely succeed if our ground-level support remains strong. School social workers have the skill set as licensed mental health professionals to provide multifaceted support to help resolve the underlying causes of each student's struggles. Although 7 positions out of 11,000 employees may seem reasonable to you, that translates into hundreds and hundreds of lost opportunities to positively impact students. In my 22 years in MNPS, I've seen a lot of initiatives come and go, and I've surmised that some of the most promising initiatives most likely have failed because some crucial details were overlooked. A fully staffed social work department is one of those crucial details. Our activism during this budget process is a plea for MNES to stay in the SEL forefront and to be the model that other systems will emulate. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am also a reading recovery teacher. I'm 3rd year at Lakeview Elementary. And in addition to the SEL component that my coworker spoke of earlier, we are here to talk about the collaboration. I know that you guys spoke about that in your meeting, and I just want you all to know that that's what we're doing every day. I see about 22 students every day, and I've seen large amounts of growth. This is the classroom teacher that I work with every day. Her name is Ashley Ream.
Hi, I'm Ashley Ream, and I teach 1st grade at Lakeview Elementary. This is my 1st year teaching, and I have 27 students in my class during my guided reading time, which makes about 6 small reading groups of 4 to 6 students in each group. And it has been extremely beneficial to me to have Mrs. Smalling in my room during that time because she teaches a small group while I'm also teaching, so that all of my students receive the small group reading instruction every day. Along with the teaching, she has been implementing the coaching model in my classroom and has been helping me to identify areas that the students need more support and different techniques to help the students find their way into reading. She has been incredibly supportive of me and readily available to answer any questions I have about skills students should be showing at their level of reading, and uses her expertise in emergent reading to offer ways to develop those skills. When time allows, we've taken the opportunity to reflect on previous lessons and their students' abilities and plan for future lessons. And I feel that having an early reading expert working in my classroom with the majority of my students has been extremely beneficial to my students, as they have gone from having 40% of the class on grade level at the beginning of the year to 76% on grade level in December. And I really hope to continue the collaboration in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening. I'm Anne Marie Schultz, and I'm a first-year reading recovery teacher at Lakeview Elementary School. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you tonight on behalf of reading recovery and the professional training that countless others and I have received this year and in years past. My focus tonight is around the professional learning that encompasses reading recovery. I have humbly served as an educator for the last 18 years in Tennessee. I am a product of the public school system in Tennessee, and I've had the opportunity to work in multiple school districts as a teacher, administrator, dean of instruction, adjunct professor at the Department of Education, and most recently as a reading recovery teacher. I can tell you without any doubt, the training that I have received this year has exceeded my expectations and far surpassed my professional training of my career. As an example, I'd like to share a personal experience with you. This is not an isolated case, but merely an example that I have encountered countless times this year in reading recovery. A recent student of mine was below average in comparison to her classroom peers. She had some literacy struggles based on the observation survey that reading recovery teachers give. Because of the extensive training that I received this year, I was able to pinpoint her areas of growth as well as her strengths, which allowed me to closely follow her and adjust my teaching. Because of this training, I was able to accelerate her in reading. Just 7 weeks into reading recovery, she has moved 7 levels in reading. This is just one example of the impact of reading recovery and the training we receive has on students. Because our model also includes small group instruction, just as my colleagues just mentioned, and intervention, many children and teachers receive the benefit of our training as well. To put this into perspective, one reading recovery teacher can affect approximately 28 students each day and countless teachers across grade levels. This is possible with the support of administration and teachers, and we are fortunate to have that at Lakeview. In closing, I could not stress enough the importance of continuing reading recovery and the training that is required to make reading recovery fully effective. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. I'm Eric Huth. I'm president of the Metropolitan Nashville Education Association. And first of all, I want to commend you for some of the proposals in this budget. The addition of the training for the social emotional work is really a positive, and it does run counter to the experiences many of us have had in Metro in the past, where we start a program, but then we don't fund its implementation. And so that's positive that you're actually funding the training so that we can, in our schools, we can do more than talk about SEL and talk about restorative practices, but actually train our employees to learn how to implement those practices. So that's very important. However, at the expense of 7 social workers, that's kind of a challenge for me. I think that we're going in the wrong direction if we have to rob social work in order to implement social emotional learning. So we're kind of working it against the goal of improving social emotional learning when we reduce the number of school social workers. So I would encourage you to look through the budget and see if there is not some way to fund those 7 school social workers in addition to the other SEL work that's included in this budget. Additionally, another really good point about the budget is the improvement of pay for our paraprofessionals. Their jobs have increased greatly since their salary was set back in 1996. The expectations are much higher, but if with this improvement, you're making a positive step in paying people for what they're worth and for the skills that you're looking for. But in the ultimate analysis, this is a critically underfunded school system, and a 2% raise, even for some employees, is not enough. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dewana Wade, and I am with Salama Urban Ministries. I also am here tonight representing NOAA, Nashville Organized for Action and Hope, and I'm doing so as a result of our work relative to criminal justice and mass incarceration, specifically looking at disparities in school discipline, racial disparities in school discipline. And our belief, and from what I understand, also Dr. Joseph's belief, and many of you on this committee and the school board, we all recognize that social and emotional learning, restorative practices, trauma-informed care, and understanding of ACEs relative to how it supports and enhances our young people's learning is very important. And I appreciate the difficult, very challenging task that you have in adjusting this budget and making changes and making things happen for our students and for the teachers and the support staff who work with them. I implore you to make sure that social emotional learning, restorative practices, and those other kinds of services that are now written into this budget, unfunded in previous years, but written into this budget, I implore you to do everything that you can to maintain that funding in this budget and help to support in these repurposed positions that are written into this budget, help to support our students in being able to excel. Thank you for your time.
If we can have 11 through 16 or 17 come up to the podium as well.
Dear board members, I am Mariam Harrington. I serve as the principal of Jared Baxter Middle School. Jared Baxter applied and was labeled as a priority school, and we received SIG funding. Recently, we were informed that schools that receive SIG funding will no longer be eligible for these funds. This serves as a devastating blow to my school. With the loss of these funds and no replacement, our school will experience significant challenges. I want to provide you with a glimpse of how additional funding has supported our school. With SIG funds, we're able to receive instructional literacy support from TNTP, the New Teacher Project, which has built teaching capacity in the classrooms. Teachers are using complex text, and students are doing the heavy lifting in the classroom. Our teachers have been trained in using NWEA tools to strengthen the learning. We've experienced a 55% growth on the MAP-R assessment. In addition, we have a numeracy coach who has been trained in IFL. Due to that support, we've received a 60% growth on our MAP-M assessment, and in both areas, students with disabilities have experienced over 60% growth. Thank you. My school is a restorative practice school. Moreover, we serve as a district and state model for restorative practices. In 1 week, the restorative practice coach at Jared Baxter has a minimum of 55 touch points with a student. Restorative practices has been integrated into our school framework. Due to the consistency and fidelity of the use of the framework, discipline infractions have decreased by 43 to 24% within a 2-year time frame. Our work to promote student attendance has yielded 14% of our students having perfect attendance. Attendance is up by 57%, which are above the district's average of 7% and 55%. Our students have experienced college trips, at least 2 a year, after-school tutoring, and academic incentives. We're asking that you consider these things, SEL and instruction supports, as you go forward with this year's budget. Thank you.
My name's Doug Mosier, and I've been a first grade teacher at Whitsett Elementary School for the past 5 years, and have worked with reading recovery teachers for the past 4 years. I can say unequivocally that reading recovery has had a profound impact on Whitsett's first grade students. While we have many skilled classroom teachers, there's no substitute for one-on-one instruction given by an expert in early literacy who is then monitored and mentored closely by an even more experienced reading teacher. Yes, it's a team effort, and it's imperative that the classroom teacher deliver high-quality reading instruction. A classroom teacher, however, regardless of how good he or she may be, cannot make the same amount of growth in a 20-minute guided reading lesson with a group of 4 to 6 students as a student receiving 30 minutes of one-on-one instruction from a reading recovery teacher. I have had students enter first grade a few months late, lagging far behind the class. Reading Recovery has added these students to a group or provided one-on-one instruction. I've had students begin the year at a pre-A level and finish at a level K, one level past the first grade benchmark level. I've had students receive group instruction that has provided an additional 20 minutes of reading instruction, giving the students double the time they would have if just receiving reading instruction from me. Over the years, between 80 to 100% of the students in my reading class have reached benchmark, having started the year close to 75% below benchmark. When the students return in the fall as second graders, they're placed in a Reading Recovery booster group to remind them of the strategies they received the year prior and continue to support their growth in reading. In addition to benefiting the students, the constant collaboration with Reading Recovery teachers has improved the quality of my reading instruction as well. I would urge the district to continue providing Reading Recovery services. This is a program that has had immense success at Whitsett, and I would encourage the district to continue Reading Recovery, if not expand it so that even more schools can benefit from it. It's a valuable investment in student success that cannot be duplicated by a classroom teacher exclusively. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, good evening, and whatnot. My name is Don Harden. I'm a native of Nashville. I grew up in Metro Nashville District schools myself. As an 18-year entrepreneur in Nashville, I've seen the city grow in several ways. It's well documented that 100 people or more move into Nashville each day. A plethora of new restaurants and shops, and developers are cashing in. But for most of these booming years, our public schools have lagged way behind. A few years ago, our small firm of 12 or so did a mentorship program at Buena Vista School. The third and fourth graders were a treat to work with, both the teachers' favorites and the troublemakers alike. But it was quite evident that school in North Nashville classroom lacked classroom essentials, and on occasions, like I've heard here, teachers would supplement. While we know most recent directors of this school board have had their moment, not many of us can speak any higher than what we've seen from Dr. Joseph thus far. And of course, his team of administrators have also done a great job during his tenure thus far. When we finally see a glimmer of long-awaited progress, we need to double down on the resources to maintain this momentum and not regress. Did you hear that the average cost of living nearly doubled in 2 years in Nashville? It was just reported on the news. Hope Channel 5 kind of points out some of the positives instead of some of the negatives, Mr. Williams. It now takes a household of 76,000 to have a decent dwelling in Nashville. We need to find a way to make sure the district is more than just getting by resources. We'd like to see them use the term plethora as well when it comes to resources for our children. Not only does this budget seems to address a forward-thinking approach, but it also seems to have a balance to support several areas in the district that we've heard. Thank you to the board for all the work you do, and hope you take this budget seriously and pass it. Thank you.
My name is Michael Milliner. I am the president and chairman of the Middle Tennessee Uplift Foundation. And while I'm not here in that capacity, I'm also an executive board member of the Nashville NAACP. From where we stand, there has been positive change in the past year and a half, with the approval rating of this board increasing from 43% to 51%. That is more than coincidental to the hiring of an extremely competent director who has, as of this same Vanderbilt poll, enjoys an approval rating of 59% amongst school parents. From where I stand, it takes courage to not let the angst of special interests trump these positive outcomes. From where I stand, when we look at the Brookings Institute study that documents that Nashville zip code 37208 has the highest rate of incarceration in the nation, we are reminded of the courage that it takes to say we need to put Title I dollars where they are most needed. From where I stand, it's important to take note that when the Davidson County Criminal Justice Plan documents that minority students and those at the highest level of poverty are 3.5 times more likely to be suspended from school, and that while they only represent 18% of students, these same minorities and people who are disadvantaged represent 45% of juveniles in detention. From where I stand, it takes courage to openly and forthrightly address the school-to-prison pipeline through the reallocation of resources. From where I stand, some of what I hear tonight is the same visceral tone and innuendo that led to this board previously melting down and being seen as a laughingstock of this state. From where I stand, it takes courage of board members to support the education of all children and to acknowledge the significant expansion of our STEM programming throughout the district and the increase in our overall reading levels. From where I stand, this budget also puts an additional $7.2 million into school-based budgets where principals and staff can address needs as they see it. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. I'm Todd Irving, the principal at Chilton Middle Prep. And as I look at the budget, I am going to talk from 3 points: the why, the how, and what, when we talk about ongoing success at our school. Why do we want to make sure that we have a budget that's going to make sure all of our students be successful at Chilton? Well, as a gentleman just stated before me, we have the highest incarceration rate for our students based on their zip code. So why do we want to make sure we have the funds? We want to make sure we become out of priority school status. That's one of our goals. How will we do this? We will do this by sustaining the resources that we need to make sure that our students can have ongoing success. We always talk about data. You can't argue with data. I'm going to give you a little bit of data that shows some of the improvement that we've made at Chilton. When we look at our ELA, our second MAP assessment, we have 49% of our students meet or exceed the projected reading growth. That's 135 students out of 274. In sixth grade, we had 63% of them meet or exceed growth. That's movement. In math, we had 50.58. 121 of the 259 students in the winter met or exceeded projected growth, which is really good. But even breaking it down a little further, in sixth grade, 50% met or exceeded growth, and for eighth grade, 57% met or exceeded growth. So as you can see, we're definitely making some progress as far as academics. What we're also looking for is a third. Why do we want to do this? The what? When we talk about becoming the fastest growing school district in the country, one of the things that we're doing, we're making sure by sustaining our resource, focusing on what we need to do, we're giving it a great opportunity at what we feel is one of the greatest things possible for any kids, a good quality education. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Beatriz Salgado. I'm the proud principal of Goodlettsville Middle School. We have about 572 students. Over 118 students have an IEP, and we have approximately 78 EL students. So providing the SEL services is a key piece to moving our school forward. We are currently a PBIS school and are making gains every day with this model. We had huge academic gains. Out of the 17 teachers that gave the MAP assessment, we had 14 teachers that met the 60% goal or higher. So we're very, very proud of that. Thank you. We're using strategies such as the vocabulary strategy, RACE, restate, answer, cite, and explain, the CEIQ, claim, evidence, impact question. For math, we've got fact, fluency, questioning, depth of knowledge, and accountable talk, 8 mathematical practices. We are also focused, like I said, with discipline referrals and attendance. And we've implemented programs like Padres Comprometidos, Parents as Partners, and we're seeing great success with that. So I ask that you please move forward with the proposed budget.
Greetings, I'm Anthony Holt, Nashville native, Maplewood, 1983, go Maplewood Panthers. My son is a public school student as well. My nephews, my mother and father my mother had 11th grade education, my father had an 8th grade education, and put 3 kids through school, through college, and now all of her kids are entrepreneurs, master's degree students, all of those things, all because of a public education. Teachers, parents, principals, coaches, these were the people who supported us as we were growing up, that gave us the things we needed. Today, teachers are working 2 jobs, making it very difficult for them to actually do the things they want to do. Many of them, my son's teachers, talk about it all the time, and as a parent, I'm very interested in helping our teachers achieve more, having more. It costs a lot to live in Davidson County, as we all know. I don't even have to give you those statistics anymore. You've heard them more than enough. But I will say this, with the budget that has been put in place, the fact that we're focused on reading scores, we already know that reading is a passport to prison. 1 in 3 black males between the ages of 18 and 33 will likely find themselves in the prison system in some sort of way. The fact that we're focused on creating equity in that area and other areas with the budget that has been proposed by Dr. Joseph, I'm in a 100% agreement with that budget. I'm also an employer here, so we own a company. And with that company, the fact that we employ people, we're looking for quality people out of this system here. And so it's important that we have, that we put in place measures to ensure that we will have quality employees as we continue to build. The fact that we have a $5.2 billion, nearly $9 billion transportation budget, $44.7 million is a small price to pay for education.
Thank you. I guess that concludes this hearing. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out, and we hope that you.
12th. Remind April 12th.
April 12th, okay. It went out.
No? Okay. Yeah.
Reminder, April 12th, we will have another budget hearing.
And tomorrow. And tomorrow night.
And tomorrow night, I'm sorry. Tomorrow and April 12th. Please come out.
It's the public hearing.
We're not, we enjoy this.
I'm about to go drink. Oh my gosh.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.